Did you know, did you speak German? Are you German family
I
or?
didn't speak a word.
Wow.
Not a word.
And you just came here?
Yeah.
And do you live here now in Berlin?
Yes, I do. I've lived here for about 4 years.
Oh my God. So, and when you came here, you didn't speak a word of it?
Not at all. All I could say is, mein Kopf ist tot. My head is dead.
But, oh, from drinking mostly, right? Mein Kopf ist tot. What does that mean, my head is dead?
You know, I was just trying to say I'm so tired.
Oh.
Please, taxi man, take me where I'm supposed to be going.
Mein Kopf ist tot. Is that? All right, I'll say that every time you ask me a question.
Okay.
Mein Kopf ist tot.
Oh, great. Okay, anyway, I'll just ask you the first question then.
Fire away.
Is this your first Berlinale, Berlin Film Festival?
Mm-hmm. Never been to Berlin before. Before last night, got here last night. I've only been to a couple of film festivals in my life. To the Venice and Deauville Film Festival, the only two I've ever been. Never been to Cannes. And I'm really excited to go to this. I met Wim Wenders last night, and I followed him around, telling him how great I thought he was. Like a dog, just walking around going, Wim Wenders! He's sick of me, I think. And then, so I'm really excited to go to just to go see the film festival.
So you will be able to take some time off and just kind of see some of the
Well, I don't really have time off. You know, I'll do 6 or 7 hours of interviews today, and then I'm going to try and make his movie tonight, the opening movie. But if not, I'll do interviews all day tomorrow, and then I'll go do the screening of Three Kings there, so I'll get to see it. I'm going to get out at some point. You know, when you do these things, it's the funniest thing because I don't have much time, so you have to compress everything. When you compress it, what ends up happening is you don't see the cities, you see inside of hotel rooms, you know. And we were in China during the handover. We were not in China, we were in Hong Kong during the handover, and I literally didn't see it. We sat in a hotel room talking the whole time. So you can miss things if you're not very careful, so you have to sort of force your way outside.
It's all darkened up like this.
Yeah, exactly.
You can see outside.
I feel like you're in therapy.
In Three Kings, you play the role of Major Archie Gates,
right.
A man that has been somewhat cynical as a result of various experiences, from what I understand. What attracted you to this role?
I tell you, it was as simple as this. It was just the script. It wasn't the role, it was the story itself. I hadn't even really fixated on this role. There were, you know, the role that Mark played I thought was interesting, depending on who was going to play Archie Gates' character, because they were talking to Clint Eastwood and they were talking to Mel Gibson. A lot of different people. It would have been a completely different film. So I really just wanted to be in the film. And then when those guys weren't going to do it, and weren't able to do it, and suddenly that role was around, you know, I just said, well, let me play that guy. I could do that. It's a good thing, you know, there aren't that many really good scripts out there. I know it seems like there should be. I always think there should be, but you get out and you start doing it and you think, wow, there's a very few, you know, so the trick is to fight for those and get them. You know, I've been very lucky lately. Out of Sight was a really good script, and this was a really good script. And I just finished a Coen Brothers film. Those guys are geniuses, and it's a brilliant script. And then I just finished a film with Wolfgang Petersen. That's great.
So you finished it already?
Yeah, we just finished it, Mark and I. Mark's actually Wahlberg and I have done, we're on our third film right now. He's playing a rock star in a movie that my company is producing. So when you see him, he'll have hair down to here now.
Well, it seems there's a good kind of chemistry that you can...
I love him. He's a great guy. Great guy. Surprisingly, you know, I didn't know what to expect. I thought he might be he was very famous at a very young age, so usually that can make you kind of a jerk. And he's not, which is really strange. I would have been tearing up hotel rooms or something, you know.
I had one more question about your role. Now, your character's often very laid back, it seems. And I'm wondering, do you take the same approach to your acting? Are you laid back about it, or is it something that...
Depends on the job. Depends on what you're doing. It depends on the job. There are times, you know, I think that your responsibility starts when you drive onto the lot, not really when you come on the set, and that means to keep it fun. You know, what we do for a living is what everyone wanted to do. You know, pretty much everyone in the world when they're little kids says, I want to be rich and famous. Well, I get to do that. So they don't want to see you really complain or be angry or upset about it because they'd all trade places with you. So if we're living the life of Riley, sort of, then you have to try and make sure that you enjoy it and make sure that people, make sure that when you come onto the set or when you come to work that you're not part of the problem, you're part of the fun. Otherwise, don't do it. Don't be involved. Don't be where you are in your career. So I always try to keep it fun. I always try to keep, because otherwise it's sort of dumb. But, it's that old, there's an old adage, take the work seriously and not yourself. And I mean, it is true. It's the easiest way to get through, which is just to sort of enjoy it and have fun. And when people say, when people are sort of unkind to you, you go, thank you very much. And then they go away. And when they're nice to you, you say, thank you very much, and they go away. And you don't really fall into any of those traps, and you're sort of in a better place.
It's difficult for me not to laugh out loud while you're talking.
Oh, laugh out loud.
Darf ich jetzt noch eine, oder? Okay, I saw the film last night.
Oh, you did?
Yes, and I was expecting another really, kind of typical war film.
Right, which
and I was very, pleasantly surprised.
Right.
And yet I asked my German colleague how he felt about it, and he said, well, it's, a little bit too much, this typical glorification of America, and they went back, and would they really have rescued those people? And so, of course, I can see both sides, because I've lived here long enough, and I'm American, and I wanted to ask you, would you have gone back to save those people? Yes.
And so would your German colleague who said that, because that's sort of the idea. And it's the idea, it's not glorification of war at all. In fact, I think we do a very good job of talking from every side. I think we put a face on the Arabs that we were supposedly enemies with. I think that we separate the Republican Guard and the Shiites, which America can't do, and I know Germany didn't do either, which is we all sort of believed this is a group of people and they're this, and we make fun of and give a hard time to American policy of police forcing the entire world and show the responsibility that comes if you do it. So it's not glorification of war. What it is glorification of is the human spirit. And the human spirit is the guy that goes back. And if you were to say that, then we'll talk about, I would suppose, virtually every film that has a happy ending. Or, and this isn't really a happy ending. This is just a, by degree happy ending. And we'll just go, I guess, talk about 99% of the stories in life and say, well, that's just the glorification of the guy getting the girl, or the glorification of, so-and-so saving someone. It's life. It is the celebration of the idea that the human spirit says, you know what, that's not okay, and I'm gonna make sure that those people, if it's just one of them, they're gonna do all right. And I think that that's a good thing, So, well, send him over here, I'll smack him around.
I almost smacked him myself.
Germany Today went and met George Clooney to see what else he's got to say.
George Clooney, actor, producer and charmer, named Sexiest Man Alive in 1997 by People magazine. He made the jump from living room stardom on television's hit doctor series ER to the silver screen in 1995 with the film From Dusk Till Dawn. Clooney is showing his latest film, Three Kings, at the Berlinale, which is being presented out of competition. For the actor, it was a good reason to get to know Berlin and the festival.
I've only been to a couple of film festivals in my life, to the Venice and Deauville Film Festival, the only two I've ever been, never been to Cannes. And I'm really excited to go to this. I met Wim Wenders last night, and I followed him around, telling him how great I thought he was. Like a dog, just walking around going, Wim Wenders. He's sick of me, I think.
Three Kings is the first feature film to come out of the Gulf War. Clooney plays the commander of a special unit, as well as someone popular with the ladies. He's also accompanied by co-stars better known for their music than their acting. Ex-New Kids on the Block singer Mark Wahlberg and rapper Ice Cube.
Mark Wahlberg was dressing up. listen to me. We will rise up together. Tell him.
The film tells the story of 3 American soldiers searching for Kuwaiti gold stolen by Iraq's president, Saddam Hussein, and how they suddenly find themselves in no man's land. Clooney was so excited by the script, he was more than willing to take the role, even though he wasn't first choice.
They were talking to Clint Eastwood, and they were talking to Mel Gibson. A lot of different people. It would have been a completely different film. So I really just wanted to be in the film. And then when those guys weren't going to do it, when we weren't able to do it, and suddenly that role was around, you know, I just said, well, let me play that guy. I could do that.
Shooting wasn't done in Iraq, but in the American desert. On Tuesday, Clooney won a Golden Camera by a German media magazine for his other work. Clooney's thank you went out to some of the cinema greats who were made in Germany, or at least made famous there.
What I really want to thank you for is for Billy Wilder and for Wolfgang Peterson and for Wim Wenders and for Marlene Dietrich and the people that make what I do for a living classy and good.
And of course, Clooney's first time at the festival wouldn't have been complete without an undercover taste of Berlin's nightlife after his film's premiere.
What made you play Mr. Carter? How did you prepare yourself?
Here comes the story of the hurricane, the man the authorities came to blame.
People have asked me, was it a difficult film to do? And the answer is one of the easiest films I've ever been involved with because I believe in it.